Hello. So this is a different kind of video. As you can see on the screen, I'm gonna be working with Joy-Cons, and from the title. So this is just what my Joy-Cons looked like before, and I'll probably take some photos afterwards and videos and everything once it's done. But I'm pretty confident. I went to Amazon and YouTube and did a bunch of research, looking into things over and over and over and over and over again, and it became yeah. But luckily I think I'm confident enough. As you can see here, oh, that's pretty nice. You can see the Hall Effect joysticks, and then I'm gonna get the metal blocks, just wear and tear. Basically, I want to like future-proof my Joy-Cons. Is basically what I'm doing, and then just for slight customization without undoing everything, I went for buttons, like white buttons, because I got an OLED, so why not? So yeah, that's basically where I'm operating from. So I think it's going to be good. I'm looking forward to having a better Switch in terms of Joy-Cons and stuff. Yeah. Hopefully, if this goes well, it'll lead to more videos like this. So stay tuned. Yeah. So, things kind of got a little difficult. As you can see from the sped up footage, I was working on the orange Joy-Con, which is the right Joy-Con, and since it was the people said it was the most difficult one to do, I went for that one first. And the funny thing is, nothing in it broke, apart from one specific thing, which is pretty important. A latch on a ribbon cable came off, so a ribbon cable, basically, whenever I tried to put it back together, now no longer would respond, and getting a replacement motherboard would have been cheaper than what I did, but would have taken way too long for my purposes. So I ended up getting a second-hand Joy-Con, because I'm gonna add all the Hall effects, and I didn't do the buttons because the buttons were the reason everything was going wrong. Every time I put in the buttons, they'd be misaligned, there'd be something going wrong, and it would mess everything up. So I was just like, okay, forget the buttons, because the Hall effects and the metal latch is the most important thing. The buttons were extra for. Maybe when I get better at it, I'll add those, I'll save those for a later time. But so I basically just took apart the old Joy-Con entirely and basically used it for spare parts, which you'll see loops around later on. But I am in a great mood because this all came together and just works. Like, there's like one issue I have with it, but with time it's ignorable. So basically, after this disaster of like constantly trying to figure out stuff and constantly trying to put the buttons in and it not working, they're being misaligned and everything, they're being loose and whatever, I got to the point where I was just like, oh, there are things that was like not gonna work, and then blah blah blah. And it turns out, while I was putting it together, I lost the spring for the top trigger for the R button, the R top trigger. And I didn't even realize, because I was like, wait, why is this screw there, this spring here? But it was a learning curve that I'm glad I experienced, because now if I ever do this again, or I never need to repair a Joy-Con, I know what to do. So basically, I did the purple one with the knowledge of the the orange one that is now spare parts essentially, and it was simple. I got it done in one go because I didn't take out the buttons. I took the back plate off, the battery out, and everything. put the Hall effect stick in, put the lock mechanism in, done. Screw it back out the other, sorted. And then the next day, once I had my I could afford to go buy an extra Joy-Con, went out to get that second Joy-Con, ordered the stuff for streaming. Also, yeah, I'll tell you on the stream what's happening with that. But basically, this image is the Joy-Con complete, the purple Joy-Con completed. And for a while, I had a lopsided switch. But you'll see in a minute that after all this work, I finally have my Hall Effects metal latch custom Joy-Cons, and I don't care that the buttons aren't the fancy ones I wanted, because they're just great. The latch is so good to the point where the grip feels better because of how secure they're locked in. You can see I got a green one that's a little more expensive than I thought, but it's fine because when I go to the convention, I'm there for like memories rather than spending money. So with the little amount of money I have, I'm gonna make sure to, you know, probably get something decent. And as you can see, is the back, because yeah, two of the screws stripped, so I basically had to use the orange back for the green Joy-Con, so it's a bit of a skeleton thing. Also, another thing, when you do this on pre-owned Joy-Cons, calibrate your Hall effects, your Joy-Con, because, well, calibrate them anyway, but because they were calibrated at all, it basically drifted. So I was about to leave a review for Gully Kit like, what is this? Why am I buying things to avoid drift, only for it to drift? What the hell is going on? So it's like, you know, it's not great. So anyway, after going through and constantly doing research, looking through, trying to figure out, and it's like refer to the manual, which it, you know, didn't have, I eventually got to the point of like, oh, I found the website, said what to do, calibrated it, worked fine. I ended up calibrating the other Joy-Con as well, because the dead zone was way more shaky because of the way that, you know, the new Hall effect switches work, I assume, because it's a magnet, it's not two pieces touching together. There's always going to be a natural amount of like shake for the center, because it's two things pulling together, like, you know, a magnet. I'm not an expert, but I assume, based on my understanding of going to school and learning about magnets, that because magnets pull or repel, you know, they're not going to be stationary if they're not touching. So yeah, and yeah, that's basically what it is. I will probably record a final scene where I will show all of the stuff going on, and then that'll be it. So yeah, hopefully you're seeing that clip in a few, and then I'll proceed to end things, and that'll be it. Yeah, thanks for watching, and also ignore what I just did there. It's fine.